Welcome back to the Willie Bragg Show. I'm your host, Willie Bragg. Different background, different live stream. A long time no see, everyone. So I'm glad to see y'all back here. And so, um, yeah, let me go and say my quick hellos, and we'll get to the subject at hand. Okay, for starters, we'll say, hey guys, long time no see, says Warren, extra Buddha. Hey Willie, hey again, Willie, about to pass out, but I'm listening to you as I slumber. Say nice things about me. Don't worry, Warren. It'll happen. Let's see. And then of course I responded to him privately. Well, not privately, but here on the chat line. Daniel Sports, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, how are you doing today? Miguel, glad to see you back again. That's right. Hi again. Yes, thank you about that. And I guess we'll get started right at this moment. And well, I guess what I'll start on is basically a live streamer that's a live streamer that was controversial in the last few years. She doesn't really have a lot of followers on YouTube, and my understanding is that she did get thrown off of Twitter, and her name is Kristi Winters. So let me go ahead and we'll go ahead and talk about her ever so quickly. Here she is. Kristi Winters is basically what one would call back in 2015, 2016, an SJW. And probably one of the worst kinds of SJWs. It's like she's very self-righteous, very preachy, very cringe on how she preaches leftism. And what she defines as leftism, on her terms, is not leftism the way I would know leftism to be, even among social justice warriors, as the term was used years ago. She has a live show, and honestly, even though she may be part of BreadTube, we're talking about somebody who's to the right of TYT. To the right of the Young Turks, to the right of David Pakman, to the right of Sam Cedar, to the right, of what's his name, David Dole. We're talking about somebody that's in Pod Save America territory, but without the widespread success of Pod Save America. That level of cringe. And her name is Kristi Winters, as I said. And she lived in Wisconsin for many years, because there's a video she came out with back in 2019 that went fucking viral. And it went viral for the dumbest reasons. It was a dumb video. It was really cringy. It was horrible. It was actually worse than the material presentation that I would provide. Just kidding. No, seriously, it was really bad. It was pretty bad. And she got shit on by so many people for that video because it was a dumb video. Now, in some ways, the video kind of aged like milk, like sour milk, because we're talking about in 2019 when many of us were believers in Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders have done a lot of things lately that's been pissing me off, because I'm going to tell you, Joe Biden is not my good friend. I'm going to tell you, Joe Biden is not my good friend. And, and I disagree with a humanitarian pause, Bernie. It has to be a ceasefire, a real ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire. That's, over there in the Gaza. And, basically, even though I'm not particularly a fan of Marianne Williamson, at this point, it's just kind of like, or Cornel West at this point, because, what Peter Dow did to him. They made it really quick and clear, Bernie Sanders and AOC, that They quickly endorsed Joe Biden. Why? What has he done? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. So this video came out in 2019, and she got a lot of crap for it. I listened to it from Shoe on Head's perspective and other lesser known content creator perspectives. I even did a video before, but the reason I'm going to play this video again is because she contradicted herself. Kristi Winters moved to Germany, and with her move to Germany, I just happened to stumble across her on Facebook. I didn't do no Facebook requests because I could care less about being friends with Kristi Winters. But here's the thing: she moved to Germany. I don't know what part of Germany it is right now. And what's ironic about it, the things that she crapped on Bernie Sanders for, kind of exist in Germany today. And so I find that ironic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video from Deep Fat Fried. It's the amazing atheist T.J. Kirk and his younger brother Scotty, and they're talking about this dumb video. And so basically they're going to give their take, but I'm going to give my take on her take and their take on her take, if that makes any sense. Kind of wanted to do this video again. So, and to basically illustrate how times have changed, but she's consistently inconsistent, as one could say. Let me get the video out. So here we go. Here it is. And I will go and share y'all my thoughts on what she has to say and what they have to say about her.
Why I will never vote for Bernie in the Dem primary.
What if, like, okay,
never.
What if you're walking down the street and a fucking car lost control and swerved at you, and Bernie like jumped in front of that fucking car and saved you?
Not even then.
Damn, not even then.
Not even then. Fuck Bernie Sanders.
Even if he saved your life, you still wouldn't vote for him?
Fuck him.
Actually, many of us feel that way today about Bernie Sanders. Fuck Bernie Sanders. Because, he's just not the same. When he ran for president in 2020, the problem with him running in 2020 is his 2016 brand was gone. The fire under his belly was gone. And he, as I said before, what ruined his campaign was that he campaigned as a generic Democrat, maybe a less shitty version of a generic Democrat. And I even noticed that back then. So anyway, let's listen to this.
Okay.
I'm going to get so much hate for this video. Hey, guys.
Probably.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Here's why Bernie Sanders is a real piece of fucking shit.
Look, maybe she has very well thought out political disagreements with Bernie Sanders that at the end of this video, we're going to say, you know what? While we might not all agree, I respect your disagreement and your right to disagree, and I'll fight to the death to defend your position, to have a different position than me.
Wow.
Actually, the only thing that remains consistent with this dumb video that they covered, not their video, but her, was that her position is still the same. Her position is still as shitty in 2023 as it was in 2019. And all the people that went after her in that video and basically, criticized her, she had it coming. Even as disappointed as I am with Sanders, but we'll continue.
Maybe.
It's Kristi. It's good to be in a recorded video again. Usually I do live shows. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but there is something that I wanted to put out there that was suitable for a short video. It's a question that people do roll up into my mentions and ask me from time to time. So I am going to explain to you guys why I will never vote for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. Most of my interactions with Sanders supporters, when they ask me why I don't support their candidate, they're not really interested in hearing why I don't support their candidate. What they're waiting for is for me to give any reason at all that they will then turn around and tell me that I'm stupid or uninformed or.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight.
It's because you're a shit lib, Kristi. You're a shit lib, a self-righteous, pretend woke person that really don't give a damn about income inequality. You may use it as a talking point, but I ran across many Democrats such as yourself, in my years of living. And people like you, Kristi, when it's the reason why I don't want anything to do with the Democratic Party. With Democrats like you, who needs Liz Cheney?
So
you've had disagreements on the internet with people who are Bernie supporters.
Wait. So they ask you why you don't support him, but they don't really care. They just want some reason to jump down your throat and be like, "You're a piece of garbage."
Yes.
Well, what kind of things are you saying before that happens? Is what I'm wondering.
Nothing, TJ.
I'm assuming you're not blameless in this process. I'm assuming that you say something that, if a bunch of people jump down your throat and say you're stupid, there's a good chance that maybe you're saying something that's stupid, or maybe the people who are saying that to you are stupid. I don't know. There's a lot of stupid people out there. I don't know which side is stupid. Usually I find that it's both, but we'll fucking get to the bottom of this. Let's fucking hear your fucking shit. But for the record, I do want to legitimately hear your fucking reasons. And it's not just to jump down your throat, although I have a fucking sneaking suspicion that's going to happen.
Neoliberal or I'm a Republican. So basically my interactions with 90% of Sanders supporters are really, really negative, disingenuous experiences of people who are looking to bully me or intimidate me or judge me or shame me.
Interactions 90% of the time. Well,
90% of the people who,
if I go and argue with 90% of the people who are booty judge supporters, I can go also make the same claim. Like 90% of the time I interact with these people, they're assholes.
I mean, it's the same. Look, we've seen several forms of the same argument. A lot of people, when they're backed into a corner, instead of actually coming up with a point, they just say, well, there's a bunch of toxicity.
The people that support this person are
it's toxic. It's toxic. Oh,
they're a bunch of dickbags.
I don't have anything to actually criticize about Rick and Morty, but the fan base is toxic. Or, I don't like this thing or that thing, but I don't have any good reasons. So I'll just fucking say the fan base is toxic, And that's just, it's a typical bullshit. I mean, like, this is probably the same kind of chick who was going around and talking about Bernie bros at one point and all this shit.
All you have to do
was the Bernie bro thing. Ironically, I started my channel as a couple of months later after this video was launched in 2019. And honestly, my channel was called Bernie Bro originally. I confess that was going to be the name of the channel because I thought at the time that Bernie Sanders was going to be president and I was going to be his cheerleader. And it was, how embarrassing it was. I had to change the name when the nomination was stolen a second time. And it was so overt what I saw right there. I had to go and change the name.
To do is simply say you don't have to even be involved in that. Just look at the political positions that Bernie's espousing and go from there. Like, do you agree with them? Do you agree with those policies more than the policies of someone like Joe Biden, as vague as those are?
Into voting for their candidate rather than having a conversation. I'm expecting that from this video too.
Why do you have a conversation with those people? How's that relevant to your vote? That you have to talk to someone who's another supporter?
Scotty, you don't know what it's like, okay? I go out there and I put out my opinions, and people have the goddamn audacity to disagree with what I have to say. Can you believe it?
I can't.
Can you fucking believe it, Scotty?
Shut their mouths. And just
people actually disagree with the points that I make, and that makes them bad.
They're cuckoo for cocoa.
Yeah, and that's the thing right there. People like her thin skin about disagreeing with her. You disagree with her, you're racist, sexist, misogynist, pig, or what have you. That's the type of person she is. Here's the thing about it. When people who come on my show, I'm talking about whether they're guests or people on the chat line or people who just watches the video. This is how it is. You don't have to 100% agree with what I have to say. You don't even have to agree with me at all if you don't want to. And more than likely, I'm not going to be upset, unless somebody's like rude to me or something like that. That's probably when I would, be, the ugly side of me comes out. But as far as, people agreeing or disagreeing with me, all I say, when you come on my show or, watching what I have to put out, just do it with an open mind. And that's all there is to it. But Kristi Winters, someone like her, she expects you to agree 100% with what she has to say.
And that validates me and my points. It's like when someone comes to me and wants to talk about a candidate they support, they just want me to support that candidate too. It's like, no shit. That's kind of what this politics shit is about, right? Gotcha.
To Sanders supporters to come into my comments and tell me why I'm stupid and wrong.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I think
what?
I think you've headed it off at the pass enough.
Did Bernie Sanders himself come and say you're a retard? Like, excuse me. Lady, makes obscure YouTube videos on that. You are, in fact, a fucking worthless retard. And if I am elected president, I will deport you to Guantanamo Bay. Thank you. I mean, did that happen to you? When did that fucking happen?
I wish that would. That'd be cool.
why I'm really a Republican, why I'm a neoliberal shill, why I'm whatever.
Yeah, trolls on the internet said mean shit to you. Join the fucking club, bitch.
Okay, so let me just tell you something. Get to the point, all right? Because you've headed it off at the pass enough. You've said your little thing where you try to.
The evil Bernie bros showed up and rained on your fucking parade.
This is the tactic I'm going to use to dismiss any counter arguments against me, and I just want to lay that out now. Gotcha. All right, to the point now.
Throw at me for not supporting their candidate.
Right. Gotcha.
And that's fine. I'm going to ignore their comments. Most importantly, it will never change my mind. You guys go ahead, Bernie bros, knock yourselves out in the comments.
Okay.
You're just going to make my point for me.
Okay. Yep, that's great. We're just going to make your point for you. Great. Wonderful. What's your point?
How empty-headed you must be that the supporters of someone are enough to say, you know what? And I'm not saying you can't totally dismiss the fucking supporters of a candidate and say, oh, look, it's like obviously the supporters are saying horrible and terrible things. But it's kind of hard to envision a bunch of Bernie Sanders supporters as like these conduits of hate. I mean, look at the fucking message of Bernie Sanders' campaign. If those are their values, then it's antithetical to the values of the candidate who's running for office, and they have no place in those groups. And I don't.
Here's the thing about the Bernie Bros from 2019, 2020, and going back to 2016. The problem with Bernie Sanders with this Bernie Bro narrative was that he basically was acting like, well, they are kind of bad people, and I wish that they would calm down. I mean, people like Michael Bloomberg did not really run anti-Trump ads. He ran anti-Bernie Sanders ads. Talking about the mean old Bernie Bros. As if that's a bigger problem than Trump. Which, if we're going by people, if they're going by what they truly wanted, if they were sincere about their beliefs, Bernie Sanders and his supporters combined, it'd be something positive for this country. It'd be nice if they could, Bernie Sanders fight for his agenda like he kind of used to. That's my beef with Bernie right now. He's not, he says positive things, but he's either not giving it his best shot to fight the good fight, or he's taking positions contrary to what he claims to believe in. AOC, in my opinion, is much worse. She voted to bust a rail strike. And that was really the straw that broke the camel's back with the squad right there. Bernie, I held on to him a long time. And he is a constant disappointment these days. I can't believe how much money I gave to that man over the years. But anyway, and if Bernie Sanders hears this, I want a refund.
I don't know why they're there, except if they, in my view, to be agitators.
All right. I'm hoping to God or whatever I believe in.
TJ, you know the rule of bad YouTubers? This shit was established back when we were fucking DP. No one that makes a shit video ever has a fucking point and never gets to it. And if they do, it's like halfway to the fucking end of the video.
Please. I am begging you.
It's not going to happen.
Fucking begging you. Please. Okay, listen. I'm going to press play. I'm going to press play. And you are going to make one single solitary fucking point. Please, please, please make a point.
Not to.
Oh, man. Dude, you know what? She fucking cock teased me with that point, too. For a second there, I thought she was about to make some kind of fucking point, and then she didn't do it. She's like, nope. And now I'm going to give you a little mini biography about myself.
Now you need the backstory.
Who gives a shit
of this middle-aged woman's life?
I was born in a sewer and raised by the rats. I don't give a fuck about your background.
Wait a minute. If that was her origin story,
all right, fair enough.
Never mind.
That would be cool.
I would suddenly be interested in this video.
Tell me more about that. Fuck this Bernie Sanders shit. And tell me about the rats.
And then the rats taught me to gnaw off the nasty parts of my body in the sewers. Like, whoa, okay, like I'm getting into the story.
I had cancer on my shoulder. Just gnawed it right off.
Yeah, no problem, you're a rat.
I'm an American, so I get to vote in the Democratic primary, and I have been a Democrat for my entire life.
Awesome.
I started out, my first time voting was for a Democrat. First president I voted for was Bill Clinton. I have voted for a Democrat in every election I've ever been able to have the opportunity to vote in.
I have never voted for a Republican.
I've come voting for a Republican.
I'm a Democrat.
For people who are running for nonpartisan office who lean Republican. I have been a Democratic supporter in the polls, in the polling booth.
Do you hear what she said about voting for a nonpartisan candidate who lean Republican once? Well, she votes for this kind of people all the time. They're called Democrats.
I was actually hired by the Democratic Party of Wisconsin to do events and help them raise money, along with partnering with county Democratic Party events. So I worked for the party, and I've also worked for people elected to represent Democratic values. I worked for State Senator Fred Risser. I worked for Representative Tom Springer as his office manager in minority, and then I worked for State Senator Kevin Chabot.
Oh my God! Who the hell
committee, trying to advance
cares?
Democratic policy platform ideas on the Finance Committee in the.
Just play it again.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
Yeah, you worked and you've been associated with the Democratic Party. So, is she going to say, well, here's my guesses. Bernie's not even a Democrat.
I bet you.
Bernie is not even a Democrat.
Not even a Democrat. Not even a Democrat.
Let's see, though. Let's see if we ever get to the fucking point.
We won't.
Senate for Wisconsin appropriations. I have spent my weekends.
Oh, you're such a wonderful.
For special elections.
Let's just take a moment.
God, yeah, you've done so much the Democratic Party. Thank you. You have been a puppet for giant corporations for years.
Democrat. Awesome. That is so wonderful. Wow. I just want to say thank you for your tireless service to the Democratic machine.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and sadly, I know too many corporate Karen centrists like her. Unfortunately, I ran across people like this person here with their mindset. And as much as I cry on against the right wing and shit on their talking points, because there's plenty of talking points and plenty of positions that the right wing Republicans and all that has it that's cringy as hell. People like Kristi Winters, she in her own way is no better. And she doesn't even realize she loves the status quo, and the status quo is what sucks.
Thank you so much.
So cool. So cool.
Here at
General elections in the states, I've spent my vacation time knocking on doors.
Wow. I just want to say, this woman.
What a waste of your fucking life.
I don't use the word hero lightly, but you, madam, are the greatest hero in American history. It's a Simpsons joke.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm saying to pat yourself on the back for instead of using your vacation to have a vacation or just chill out or something, like eat Cheetos around your house, like I was knocking on doors annoying people. hey, like go away, rat bitch.
Hey, have you ever heard of the Democrats?
Go live in a fucking sewer.
All right. So far what we've okay, let's just
to
recap the video so far.
Bernie Sanders supporters are assholes because they disagree with me. Here's my long, boring history as a Democrat.
Yes.
That's what we got so far at the 2-minute 46 seconds.
Almost a third of the way done with this video.
So I am a Democrat through and through.
Gotcha.
Don't try to tell me I'm not a Democrat.
Okay.
Sanders supporters.
Okay.
First and foremost,
yeah, she is a Democrat, and people like her would be the problem of the modern day Democratic Party.
I want a Democrat to be president, and that means having a history with the party and having a commitment to the party's values, because I don't vote for a person. Like, yes, I vote for Barack Obama, but I don't keep following Barack Obama after he left office. He took up the mantle of the party and carried that forward, and he strengthened the party and carried that forward. And he
strengthened the party. You know what happened under Barack Obama, lady? You want to know what happened under Barack Obama? The country shifted further right. He didn't give money to the people. He gave money to banks, insurance companies, all kinds of corporations. He made it so when Republicans took over the damn country on the state level, and in various states, our labor movement is a hell of a lot weaker now than it was prior to Obama taking over, because when the Republicans took over, they initiated a lot of this right to work garbage that's being crept into places like Michigan and places like Indiana and places like West Virginia and Pennsylvania, of all places you never ever guessed right to work would ever seep its ugly head and turn those states into a de facto part of the South. The Southernization of our American economy going on. Talk about the third world. Let Southern Republicans take over and make the corporate Democrats little bitches that goes along, and they may go and say, they go and say, what the Republicans are being mean, but then they go and vote for their agenda in whatever form and cooperate with them at the end of the day. And that's what's going on. And people like her are enabling that shit.
All right, so
what is the
party? All right, hold on.
Okay,
Hold on. So at the beginning, when you said that people call you an idiot when you make your points, that would be because your point is fucking idiotic. What you just said to me is that you don't care about the values of the candidate or what they actually want to accomplish. All you care about is their loyalty to a political party.
Yes.
So basically what you're telling me is that you are just a shill for the Democratic Party, and anybody who tries to disrupt that party or is an existential threat to that party, or at least in its current form, which, by the way, is terrible.
Terrible.
It is a corporatist party that's been bought and paid for by moneyed interests. It's in the pocket of fossil fuel. It's in the pocket of, the insurance industry. It's in the pocket of the entertainment industry. It's in the pocket of all these industries. It does not represent the working class people as it traditionally did at one point during the New Deal kind of FDR stuff. But you don't care about any of that because all you care about is loyalty to the Democratic Party. You don't care about anything beyond that.
You sound like you.
So,
hate to say this, TJ, Scotty, your friend Vosh is not that much better than Kristi Winters. Not really all that much better. But, what you all said has been correct so far.
let me tell you this. When people call you an idiot, it's because you fucking are.
Well, it sounds like she's advocating for an authoritarian regime at that point. It was just like, I do not care. What parties say is reality. That is all. It's like, what?
The Democrat Party that dictate reality to me. Yes.
Like, what are you talking about? Are you insane?
Democrats say sky is purple. Sky is purple.
Fuck the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is supposed to represent people. Fuck the solution of this party that you care so deeply about. What about the people that's supposed to represent?
Hey, listen, you ever notice this point? Hey, listen, etymology time. Democratic. Why do you think that's there? Because it's supposed to be the party of the fucking people. Moron. So if someone comes along and, by the way, you said you voted for Bill Clinton at one time. Bill Clinton came along and radically changed what the Democratic Party was about. He was a major disruptive force when he first came in there. He totally changed the fucking talking points of the Democratic Party. He was the one who fucking pushed them to the center, pushed them a little bit more to the right.
Yeah.
At the time, because that's what worked at the time.
Because that's what was productive politically, and that's what allowed him to fucking be elected.
He did not go. Bill Clinton bucked the trend of what the Democratic Party was at the time, and it was needed. And you know what? That time has come again when you need another usurper and a disruptor to change what the party's about. And in my opinion, bring the party back to its fucking roots.
Yeah, fuck this neocon bullshit, dude. Like, that's basically what you're arguing for at this point. You're arguing for the status fucking quo and going, well, and her argument is just, it's telegraphed from a mile away. It's Bernie was an independent. He's not really a Democrat. He has no place in the Democratic primary.
He lifted up other Democrats and he carried that forward. And that's what I'm looking for in the leader of my party.
And you're
somebody who is actually committed to and knows the people in my party and is willing to strengthen
Fuck that.
it.
He knows party insiders. That's more important. The candidate is a party insider is more important. They know other Democrats. Like, Bernie knows those people. So fucking what? You're arguing you basically want corruption and more of the same. You're arguing for the status quo. In all the worst ways. If there's one political reality that almost every fucking person in this country agrees on, is that the status quo sucks.
Except for Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell loves the status quo because he's the best beneficiary of that status quo. He knows how to manipulate the system, but that's another subject for another time.
You fucking don't, you fucking simpleton. What a fucking asinine, ignorant argument that not even people who align with you would make. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should fucking be saying, oh my God, if I was a Democrat, I'd be like, no, this bitch is not a Democrat. She's something else. She is a fucking communism. She's something. I don't know what she is, but she ain't with us.
By the way, it's not even fucking like Bernie Sanders didn't fucking elect Democrats. I mean, what about like all this wave of Justice Democrats that Fox News is making a big deal about? All the major new Democrats, the new crop of fucking Democrats are all playing with the Bernie Sanders fucking playbook, for fuck's sake. The Democrats who have
they're all endorsing him.
Yeah, the Democrats who are the big name recognition new Democrats of the day, AOC and fucking Ilhan Omar and fucking even Tulsi Gabbard and people like that, they're all fucking in the orbit of fucking Bernie Sanders. He's the one who pushed this fucking rhetoric to the forefront, and that's why most of these people are fucking galvanizing behind him in this fucking race.
Here's the thing. That squad you mentioned, AOC and Ilhan Omar and all of them, they taken a turn to the center. Tulsi Gabbard, sadly, taking a turn to the right. Just maybe in 2019 when this video was out, they were all meaningful, including Bernie himself. But it's 2023, so a lot of this is aging like sour milk, as I've said.
So Bernie Sanders is trying to change the Democratic Party in fundamental ways, just like Bill Clinton did in the fucking 90s.
I do think that Bernie Sanders tried to change the Democratic Party from within. He gave up. He simply gave up. I believe Russell Dobular from Due Dissonance said something to the effect that you know, that some of these people from the squad, what have you, you know, they are willing to go, but to a certain point. I'm paraphrasing him. So a couple of weeks ago, he said something about this, and that they know that things are not going to go their way personally if they fight the Democrats too much. And that includes Bernie, that includes the squad, and anybody else who comes across as some sort of insurgent candidate. That there is a point where, in my words, they hit a brick wall, and they can't go forward. That brick wall is the Democratic Party apparatus itself, the institution of the Democratic Party. And although I am no stranger to voting third party and independent, and I've done that more times than going back into the two-party fold, there's no reason. Well, for starters, I'm going to say it right up front. There's never going to be a reason to vote Republicans. I mean, that's a given. But also, there's no reason to support the Democrats anymore. What's problematic is somebody comes along somewhere and they say some really positive shit. Whether we're talking about Bernie running in the Democratic primaries or the squad, AOC and company, or prior to the squad and Bernie, there was Paul Wellstone of Wisconsin, of Minnesota. There was Russ Feingold of Wisconsin. There was Congressman Dennis Kucinich of Ohio. They were saying a lot of things that needed to be said, very similar to what you hear from Bernie and AOC. They may not say I'm a democratic socialist, but that's what they were saying at the time. Sadly, I think that Dennis Kucinich is the one that remained the most consistent. I have a feeling he won't vote for the Democrats in 2024. But suffice to say, when it comes to these insurgent candidates, they can just fight to a point. And I would say the only way out of this is to, support the Green Party or support whatever independent left-wing campaign there is, whether it's the, SPUSA or whether it's the PSL, or whether you want to go and, into the Wobblies, IWW, or go into whatever left-wing organization where you could seek to make a positive difference. It just can't be done inside the Democratic Party. And these guys here, Scotty and TJ, they were kind of, naively hoping that the Democratic Party could change from within too. They're not too far from where I would think our audience, probably most of us were in 2019. Whether we were, I know that most of us here were either mostly in the Bernie camp then, and I think there were a few Tulsi bros out there too. And I was, in 2020, I was more like a Bernie bro / Tulsi bro. But I still was, at the end of the day, Bernie was the main candidate I wanted more than anything else. And how disappointing Bernie Sanders is these days. So we'll continue.
Well, not just like it in terms of like policy and shit, but it's a similar fucking story.
I almost guarantee you that it's just that she's more of a centrist and the party's just getting scary left now. It's getting, his ideas are too
far left. I'm scared.
No, Joe Biden, he's a party guy. He's good.
Guarantee this bitch. I bet you, if I had to bet, I'd say she probably supports Warren or Buttigieg.
You think so?
That'd be my guess.
To see a Democratic majority in the House and the Senate and in the White House, not just for him or her.
Yeah, but a party's
so
not
on that basis,
even when parties get majorities, that's when it's factional then. Then it's, this part of the party wants to do this and this part of the party wants to do that. It's not like just because there's a bunch of Democrats that's even going to ever be that. There's always factions within parties, always groups that have different ideas.
But she's even worse. She's a Kamala Harris supporter, people are saying.
Oh, are you serious? 1% Kamala now? Oh, man.
Cop Mala.
Do I eliminate possible candidates from my selection choice? Well, a damn easy one is looking around to see who isn't a Democrat. And you guys might not think that that's important. Your ideology might be all about the revolution, whether it's an anarchist revolution or a communist revolution.
Oh my God! So you straw man the people you're talking about now.
Okay,
the anarcho-capitalist, communist revolution is upon us. The apocalypse is here.
Okay, so is she literally describing Bernie Sanders as an anarchist or a communist? Because
it sounds like
dog.
It's through innuendo. Through innuendo, it is what she's saying.
Socialist revolution or a green revolution, I know that's important to you. Okay. What is important to me as a voter in the Democratic primary is electing someone who actually is a Democrat.
What does that mean?
I don't care what Kristi Winters think is good for this country electorally. In fact, just as I say this with Republicans, with Democrats like her, fuck what she cares for. Fuck her for what she cares for.
That's meaningless. What does that fucking do for anybody? What does that do for the American people to just vote for someone who's a Democrat because they're a Democrat?
What a mindless thing to say. So you walk in there and you just want someone that's had a D next to their name. That's all that matters to you.
D. My team wins, motherfucker.
What about what people actually in this country support?
Hey,
what about the popular?
I have an idea. How about we fucking elect a candidate that actually has some ideas and does something for the people of this fucking country instead of just being a D next to your name loyalist? Like, ooh, they got a D. It must be good. Good D.
Yeah, you know what I want in my politics? When I want political change, I want a team fucking player that's going to play by the same fucking rule book and do the same shit. That's what people want in this country, right? That's why every campaign that I can remember has been about change. In life, it's all about fucking change. And what do you want? More of the fucking same. Why don't you go eat some fucking gruel and fucking put your head in the sand, you fucking anachronistic ostrich? God, she annoys me to no fucking end.
Someone said only D she ever gets. Oh my God. Calm down, chat. Calm down.
Simmer down, chat.
Simmer down now. Slim on down.
And Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat.
Fine.
He's never been a Democrat.
Good. That's one of the strongest points he's got going for him, in my opinion.
You know what? He's also one of the only fucking trustworthy politicians in this country.
Let's don't get carried away. I stopped trusting Bernie a while ago, but I understand what Scotty's saying from a 2019 perspective. And the thing about it is, the Democratic Party is a barrier to progress. It honestly is, because, when it comes right down, you take the issue of healthcare alone. For anybody who's a Democrat trying to fight for single payer, Medicare for all, good. I'm glad you are trying to do that. But here's the problem. The Democratic Party has all kinds of positions on healthcare. There's not a one position the Democratic Party has. Probably most Democrats support making the Affordable Care Act a little more strengthened with a public option. There could be that. But even the public option is considered controversial. If this country was normal, the public option would be a right-wing position. Like a right-wing Republican or a libertarian would be like, well, maybe we give a public option and let the free market operate on its own. That should be the Republican position, should be the libertarian position. A moderate conservative and a shit-lived moderate Democrat, their position should be Medicare for all. And the far left of the Democratic Party and those outside of the Democratic Party to the party's left, a national health service like they have in the UK, or the socialized medical system they have in Cuba, should be what should be the position. But the public option is now considered a far left position, which means that we're far right. When the public option is considered a far left position, that means the country's too far to the right. The Overton window is too far to the right. Strangely enough, I run across some Republican-leaning voters that say the country's too far left. And I have to ask, what fucking planet are they on? But anyway.
You want to know why? What gives me more credibility in my mind is there's not a fucking D next to his name. Because independent is what you should be. Because you should fucking consider every issue carefully. And not what's the party say about it? What does reality say about it? What does the evidence say about it? Use some critical fucking thinking skills. No, you know what? What's the party have to say? Just come and tell me my fucking opinion. You goddamn non-thinking fucking piece of shit.
I mean, basically, like at this point, it might as well be like, hey, this is our new candidate, Adolf Hitler.
Like, don't worry, there's a D next to his name.
Don't worry, he's a Democrat. He's really tight with the party. It's good. Well, I heard bad things. No, Democrat through and through. Through and fucking through.
It's just the easiest disqualifier for Bernie. Let's not address anything he's talking about.
Yeah.
Let's not have any substance here. Just he's a Democrat, so scratch him off.
Not like, okay, I don't like this policy or that policy, or here's a fucking deconstruction of the substance of his fucking policy positions. Nope. Not a Democrat. Don't like him. Don't goddamn like him, boy.
Democrat. He is not a loyal party member. He is not helping the party. He is not putting himself
Good.
out there to grow
Good.
the party. Bernie
Good.
Sanders.
Well, it's not even fucking true.
Actually, I remember 2019. I was accused of supporting Bernie Sanders because I didn't care about the Democratic Party. All I care about was Bernie Sanders. I didn't even care about the overall well-being of the Democratic Party. Well, back then, where was the lie in that? Because I'm not interested in being a team player with the Democratic Party when all they're going to offer us is more the same. As I said, Joe Biden is the 11th term of the Reagan presidency. This shit needs to stop. But she thinks this shit needs to keep going.
He's caucused with the Democrats traditionally. He fucking, even after he lost to Hillary, and
bent the fucking knee.
he bent the knee to Hillary, and he fucking went and made speeches on her behalf, and he tried to get his supporters behind her, which, by the way, I think is one of the most disgusting things about Bernie Sanders that I fucking am against.
100%.
But he did that.
Yeah, in 2016 and in 2020, Bernie Sanders supported the Democratic nominee. I'm not surprised that that's his position. That's been his position pretty much since the 1980s, even as an independent mayor in Burlington, Vermont, reaching out to Jesse Jackson for his 1988 campaign. Thing about it is that supporting the Democratic Party is a dead end. It honestly is a dead end. So you have to go and find an alternative to the Democratic Party. I personally will argue that the country needs an independent labor party, some kind of a workers' party that's not attached to the Democratic Party in any way. The only way that's going to happen is when the unions decide, well, the Democrats fucked us over, and they give us nothing more than just meaningless lip service, and that's all we ever get. They may pat us in the head, and they want us to go away, and that's what and that's what it's like in a union setting when it comes to the modern day relationship with the Democratic Party. There was a time where the Democratic Party might have been close to being a labor party. Might have been close. When the Democratic Leadership Council came into being, they decided to go aggressively after corporate special interests. And they were like, well, we don't need this union money anymore. So they pretty much say, well, fuck the unions. And my thing is, if the Democratic Party says, fuck the left, I think that the left say, no, fuck the Democratic Party. But why is it always that the left have to sit there and take the abuse from the Democrats, but they better not fight back? I mean, this is what disappointed me in early 2021 with the non-commitment to force a vote when the squad decided not to force a vote on Nancy Pelosi, and it was considered a bad thing. I remember in early 2021, throughout 2021, the Medicare for All marches, there were Democrats and there were progressives discouraging Medicare for All marches, hoping that Joe Biden would be nice, and Nancy Pelosi is going to be nice if the left just behave and not give the Democrats a hard time. No, you got to hold their feet to the fire. The Republican right holds the Republican feet to the fire a whole lot. I mean, as much as I can't stand the anti-freedom caucus in the Republican on the Republican side of the U.S. House, the caucus of Republicans called the anti-freedom caucus. Because look at the clowns look at the clown show when it comes to the so-called Freedom Caucus. You know what? They did something that they took notes from the left, and they knew that the left were idiotic for not making Nancy Pelosi accountable, and that was to force a vote. So they forced a vote not just once but twice on Kevin McCarthy. And first time they squeeze a lot of concessions, the next time they kick his ass out. But we had this thing like, oh, we can't do that to Nancy Pelosi. The hell you can't. The hell you can't. I wanted her to be stressed out, at the very least stressed out, and have the left basically say, you play ball with us and, we'll see what we can do. They were too scared to do this. It frustrated me. That was my first big cold water splash in the face about the squad, by the way. And then I had multiple splashes on my face since then. So,
and he did that to appease morons like you, which clearly was a wasted effort on his part because The only thing you care about is apparently the Democratic Party. But you know what? Like, what percentage of the voting bloc do you really represent? How many people out there don't give a fuck about anything other than just political party? I'm willing to bet it's a pretty small percentage of the fucking voting populace. Okay.
I mean, maybe, but I've encountered a lot of people that just think like this. It's like, you know what? Whatever the party is doing, I mean, I might not agree with it. I might not like it. I might not think they're the best person. But you know what? I've just got to back the party.
Got to back my party.
And there's a lot of people.
What.
And I mean, look, and to be fair, on the Republican side, there's a lot of people that are like that too. They look for an R, and it's like, you know what? I want a Republican in my fucking in the Congress. I want a fucking Republican in the Senate. I want my local politicians to be all Republican. That's all I want.
That's because we got a country full of lemmings. A lot of people who follow the leader, follow like sheep without any, country that claims that we're all about rugged individualism. When it comes to electoral politics, it's all about being part of a team, unfortunately. Kit Cabello says this a lot on Heartland's Media, and I agree that, maybe it's a good idea we don't have parties like George Washington intended for the country to be, or to go and work outside the two-party system in every way you can imagine. I'm going to vote in this election in 2024. I am going to vote in this election. It won't be for a Democrat. It won't be for a Republican, but it will be a vote. I will always vote for referendums on the ballot, state and wide initiatives, things of that nature, where I can have a direct say in that democracy. But what I would not vote for is if somebody who has a D or an R beside their names, because they're by default corrupt, and you can't really fix anything if everybody's corrupt. So we need to go and eliminate this two-party shit stain called the Democrats and Republicans. We need to go and dismantle it as quickly as we can, and we need to be a multi-party system.
I'm against everything that on the Republican ticket, like no taxes, small government. I want all this. My gun rights. Like there's always these issues.
I mean, basically, bitch, you're just a moron who, you ever been to medieval times? They sit you in a section and they hand you a fucking little green flag and they say, you're on the green team. You go for the Green Knight.
That's you.
That's you fucking dumbass.
Except your life is medieval times and you can never leave. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, except that.
If you guys didn't know this, in his home state, the way he gets elected as an independent is that in the first instance, he runs as a Democrat in the Democratic primary. And then he beats whatever Democratic candidate he's going up against. When he wins the Democratic primary.
Wow, that sounds almost democratic.
It almost sounds like democracy is working in our republic. Yeah,
it seems like our republic is functioning. And runs as an independent. Now, if he just ran as an independent the whole time, that would be something. But I find it particularly galling that he would appropriate our primary structure in order to eliminate.
Appropriate it?
What about Democrats and Republicans rigging the system to prevent third parties from being in debates, for preventing third parties, in many cases, more times than not, preventing them to have ballot access, to deny choices to the people that they would like to see more than just two choices at the ballot box? You know how many elections there were where I wanted to go and vote for a third party and I wasn't able to? I mean, that's the sort of thing, and she's fine with that. Well, Bernie Sanders apparently found a way to usurp the two-party system to make sure he's on the ballot. And, whatever. Even talking about Bernie Sanders in good faith, which is getting harder to do, I don't blame him for doing that. But the problem is that the two-party system itself, what they would do. Matthew Hoh ran for the Green Party last year in North Carolina for the U.S. Senate. The Green Party got on the ballot for the state board of elections. They had a little panel. It was like 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans. The 2 Republicans were fine with the Green Party being on the ballot. The 3 Democrats were not, and they were taken off the ballot temporarily. And they managed to sue their way back onto the ballot, I was glad to see that happen. And so I was able to vote for Matthew Hoh for the U.S. Senate last year. I'm giving you that as an example. Right there is an example of where the two-party system will do what they can to rig the system. And I'm sure that if Kristi Winters lived in North Carolina, she would have been fine with that position. should have been fine with me not having a choice to vote for a Matthew Hell as the Green Party candidate. Whereas my values and my take is superior, because while I think the Democratic Party's garbage, I would never, ever, or the Republican Party, while I think both parties are garbage for that matter. I think that if that's what you like and that's how you want to vote, nobody should deny you that right to vote for that party. But my goodness, all the independents are asking is to have our own voice, because that voice is not being found in the two-party system.
I think a rigged party structure that the only way he'd ever have any chance of being elected to the office he holds is to do this. So what you're arguing actually is, oh, hey, even though the system is rigged in most states to favor one of these candidates from one of these two parties, buck that. Just be an independent.
Not that. How can you fucking call it appropriation when the voters of his state vote for him? He wins the nomination of the party.
Because he's not a Democrat, TJ.
Who cares? Who fucking gives a shit? If he runs for the Democratic primary, wins it, and then chooses not to accept the nomination so that he can run as an independent, that's his fucking choice, and that's what the voters are voting for.
He's not a party
That's
loyalist.
what the Democratic voters in his state voted for.
Bernie Sanders.
So you're an idiot.
Bernie Sanders does not blindly believe and follow the Democratic Party, TJ. Does that disturb you? He's not a loyalist, not a team player. He's appropriating the process. He's cheating, in other words. He's cheating.
He's appropriating our resources.
He's a damn cheater, TJ.
He's appropriating our fucking resources by being popular enough to beat any candidate we throw against him.
Is that surprising?
And remember, guys, they were fine. People like Kristi Winters was probably happy to see, what's his name? Jim Clyburn in South Carolina rigged it against Bernie in the primaries, and I saw that again, second time, and it was so overt. I was screaming. In these early days of this YouTube channel. I was screaming like hell. I didn't have a microphone, but I was screaming into the computer's microphone what was going on at the time. And I was like, just like how they did this again. They did this again. And with the COVID that was going on, and the whole country was getting crazy, and all of that with the police brutality that was taking place, and you had Proud Boys attacking leftists and all that sort of thing, and then you have people actually believing the leftists were the problem. I just remember that all that was going on. So it was so unfortunate at the time, but suffice to say that people like her remains the problem, not those who wants to find alternatives outside the two-party system. And always go with an alternative outside the two-party system if one must vote. And I'm beginning to think that voting in the United States is pretty worthless. I'm sure in other countries it might be worthless, not all that is cracked up to be. I can't see how it can be possibly worse. When you think of other countries with political parties, with their electoral systems, proportional representation, or what have you, you probably imagine that it might not even be hard to get on the ballot as an independent or third party, considering how much choices that are meaningful you have in other countries. Whereas here, we know that a Democrat or Republican is going to win. And then these ranked choice voting is what I think needs to happen. Alaska, Maine has ranked choice voting. I think those are the only two states that has it. We need to make sure ranked choice voting is available in all 50 states. And and I'm sure she would not want it, which is probably more the reason to desire having ranked choice voting.
Surprising when you look at the people that support this guy, vile, hateful,
filled motherfuckers. Just want to call this poor innocent woman an idiot just because she's fucking spouts nonsense.
So far, the only real argument put forth is that he's not a real Democrat, therefore should not be in the running. Okay.
Anyone who might be a competitor on his left and then renounces the party, leaving us essentially without anyone who can stand as a Democrat in the general.
She doesn't want anybody to his left. She thinks that he's too far left. My problem with Bernie is he's not left-wing enough now.
So basically what it boils down to is he puts the wrong word next to his name, so you don't like him.
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, you're a fucking moron. I don't know what to tell you. You're just dumb. That's just flat out stupid, bitch. I mean, like, that just doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
I don't know what else to fucking say. I mean, is there another point? Is this the whole thing?
Let's go towards the end. Maybe we finally get.
Is there another point in here?
No matter how many reasons I give, I will always be told I'm wrong by Sanders supporters and that my reasons are dumb and yada, yada, yada. I could do more, but if in the interest of time, we're going to wrap this video up.
Okay,
so
wrap it
again,
up.
the reasons for me never voting for
Recap.
Bernie Sanders in a Democratic primary are the following.
Gotcha.
He's not a Democrat.
Okay.
He's undermined the Democratic Party. He's run against the Democratic Party. He's renounced the Democratic Party multiple times. And it might not be important to you to have someone who represents the Democratic Party.
It's not, and it shouldn't be important to anyone.
Supports it.
You're a dumbass.
That's fine.
No, you're
for
dumb.
me, it is.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's your right as a voter.
And she supports creating a system to deny people like these two gentlemen, like myself, like most people in this audience, to go and vote for something that's outside the two-party shithole that we are under right now. The duopoly, if you will. She is fine with the duopoly. I'm not. I want this duopoly to end right now. I want it to end right now. We should demand for the end of the duopoly.
But that's a stupid way to vote, and I think it's absolutely
blindly loyal to something that doesn't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, I mean, the Democratic Party would.
You might as well be a fucking religious zealot.
They would throw you in a meat grinder. Like if they could fucking throw you into a meat grinder to turn your one vote into two, they'd do it. So
doing a disservice to both socialism and capitalism by trying to make them look like the same thing, or to not really be clear on the difference between democratic socialism, social democracy, and current Republican Party policy. And I'm just not having that. I can't support that. I will never get behind making people dumber when you're trying to get policy.
Oh, yes, you will.
Yeah, she will. Yes, she will. She likes the false choice between the Democrats and Republicans.
Yes, you will. I think you're fucking firmly behind that. You're basically telling people, don't vote your interest. Just be loyal to a fucking political party. Just vote blue team.
I'd say in her case, that's a permanent condition.
Policies out there, and to get a campaign going and to run as president, not actually knowing what socialism is and how it's different from capitalism, and actually proposing socialist policy, paying for student loans with taxes for millionaires, making college tuition free. None of that is about socialism. You can do all that with restraint.
Okay, that's.
Okay. All right. Composure. Okay. That's not okay. I don't think you have any idea what you were talking about. I don't think you have the slightest clue. If you don't think that's a socialistic policy, then you just don't know what is even being discussed. And therefore, people who don't even understand the rules of the game or what's being discussed or what's going on, the same criticism you just made should be dismissed the same way because they have nothing to add to this fucking discussion. And clearly, though you think this video is worth posting, you have nothing to add to the discussion because you simply don't know what you're talking about at all. You are fucking blindly ignorant to the conversation while at the same time proclaiming supreme and sublime knowledge and grasp of it. Fuck this bitch. I'm done with her, dude. There's nothing else that can even be said.
Look, I just want to say this about this woman. Her arguments are entirely semantic. It's all about labeling. It's all about, oh, well, he doesn't choose to wear the Democratic label, so I don't like him. Oh, and then I don't think that this socialist label fits this policy, so I don't like him. It's like, so basically your arguments have nothing to do with substance. They have nothing to do with what benefits the American people in any way, shape, or form. They're just all about labels. They're all about, I think he should take, I don't like someone because he doesn't wear the right label, or basically that's it. That's it. You know, yep. He has a series of, I don't like the way he labels himself. And that's your entire argument. And that's dumb. That's how I choose to label you. I choose to label you as a freaking dumbass.
You could have seen this video a while ago if you were a patron, I want you to know.
Okay.
And check out my podcast, Deep Fat Fried, to listen.
Okay, that's pretty much that. So anyway, I just wanted to play that video. I don't know if y'all remember it from 4 years ago, but that video of hers went viral. And I mean, you know, it was a lot of people that took a shit on that video. Yes, you saw TJ and Scotty did. Shoe on Head also did. She did a number on that video. She basically attacked Shoe on Head, which, you know, that's kind of dumb. Let's see who else. He's kind of a shit lib. A young guy named Sahil Habibi from Progressive Voice. He took a shit on the video. I have to still agree agree with, even he is kind of a shit lib, he was right about her, how fucking stupid she is and everything. And there was a bunch of other folks that did their take on this video. And I know it's 4 years past. And in some ways, it was irrelevant for me to play this video, but in some ways, it's just kind of like a look back at what the thoughts were in 2019 and how the only person's changed. The only person that didn't change, unfortunately, would be people like her. Now, there was another part of a video where she was also talking about social democrats in Sweden. She didn't say it in this part here. And here's the thing. If he hated Bernie Sanders so much, what the fuck is she doing moving to Germany, where there's a social democratic party that has politics pretty much similar to what Bernie Sanders espouses, or it's a more left-wing counterpart, Die Linke, or in English means the left, which was the old remnants of the various confederation of socialist parties that existed in East Germany that they consolidated after the fall of the Berlin Wall and became the Party for Democratic Socialism. And then they changed their name to Die Linke. So, if the Social Democrats are too milquetoast in Germany, you can always vote for Die Linke. You can always vote for the Green Party. So those are the choices there. But she was talking about the Swedish Social Democrats, and Swedish Social Democrats have policies. Basically, they're a little redundant now, like the Labour Party is in the UK, like the French Socialist Party is. But here's the thing. They pretty much still have policies. They're to the left of the Democrats here. Whereas in words of Chris Hedges, I always say Christopher Hitchens. Chris Hedges basically say if you take our U.S. Democratic Party and you stick it in any European country, the Democratic Party would be to the right of most of the conservative center-right parties in Europe. They'd be to the right of the Tories in the UK. They'd be to the right of the Christian Democratic Union in Germany, Union for a Popular Majority in France, or what have you. That's where we'll be. Probably be in Likud territory in Israel. Honestly, both Republicans and Democrats in the United States would fit into the Likud party. That's how bad the two-party system is here in the United States. But anyway, let's see what we got here. We'll talk on the chat line for a minute, and then I will definitely call it a night tonight. So I just been wanting to get this video out of the way as a reflection on what has happened in the past and how things have changed, yet kind of remain the same, but kind of still the same. I saw you earlier, Rick. How are you doing today? Rick Solis. Yep. Yes, I'm glad to see you back. Desert Mantis. I'm back. I never heard of Kristi Winters. Yeah, she debated, let's see, who did she debate? She debated, I know she debated Bosch. She debated what's the name of that British guy, Sargon of Akkad. And I think at that time when she was debating Sargon of Akkad, I think he was sort of beginning to go where Dave Rubin and all of those motherfuckers were going at the time. So he's worthless, but so is she. So and she's been running her mouth about, why you have to support a Hillary Clinton or support her. In her case, in the video, they said she supported Kamala Harris, so she's not a progressive like she claims to be, and it doesn't take a whole lot to be considered far left in America. And that is just the most amazing thing. And so going a little further left just made her nervous, as you could see there. Let's see. Well, he's giving us our money's worth tonight. Yeah, I gotta kind of make up for the last week or two. Honestly, I do. Maybe Kristi Winters was the woman crew member aboard a yacht that allegedly took out the Nord Stream pipeline. I'm sure that Kristi Winters is pro-war with the Ukraine. I will bet you my bottom dollar that she's a hawk on that issue. Let's see. Give us your take on her take on Bernie. It's kind of fun to do that kind of a video. Let's see here. All right, we got let's see, we got Sakudu. Hey, what's good, y'all? And how are you doing today? Let's see here. We have Yep. The nail has been placed on the head real well with the hammer. Desert Mantis, I agree. She is a student of Hillary Rodham Clinton's School of Politics. That is pretty much defines her in a heartbeat. See, Christ brings a sword. What is the difference between being polite and a lie? I don't know. What's the difference? Maybe if we weren't so polite, we can get to the truth. I'm all about being a truth teller. Let's see what we got here. AOC is Satan's Ark of the Covenant. There's a lot of things wrong with AOC, but well, she's not left wing enough. Is my problem with her. Let's see. But AOC wore the Eat the Rich gown. You mean the Chick-fil-A gown, because it looks like a Chick-fil-A bag. Let's see. Bernie Sanders tells harmless lies tells harmless lies to make you feel better and leads to communism. Capitalism is not really working on well at all. Let's see. Yeah, tax the rich. Tax the yeah. Let's see. All right. I'm glad I got no friends. Okay. These guys make me want to puke. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Majority Report listeners, even now, maybe my bet all of them are Majority Report listeners even now. You talking about the Amazing Atheist and what's his name? Scotty. They're Bosch fans, but I don't think that they're particularly they're definitely Kyle Kalinske fans. They're Bosch fans, but I don't think that they're necessarily Majority Report fans, because I know they didn't like the Young Turks, even when the Young Turks was a decent outfit once upon a time. And if they didn't like the Young Turks then, they probably didn't like the Majority Report then. So let's see here. I decided to be back. I told you I was not going away. I was going to come back in a very few minutes, and I did. I kept my promise. Kristi Winters lives in Germany, and I just thought it was interesting to talk about her again. She's also friends with Steve Shives. That tells you something about her. Let's see. I'm surprised, Willie. Well, I'm surprised you stir up Willie. Well, you do the work on graveyard shift. It's really hard to work in graveyard shift sometimes. So, but it is what it is. But let's see here. Let's see. All right, I'm looking through here. Let's see. It's been a while since I did one back on back. I'll tell you the truth. B.S. Adams, let's see, says, hey there, I was watching Whitney Webb from a month ago, and she brought up this book that she's been reading to do research for an article she's writing. Whitney Webb is always interesting to listen to. Let's see. The Age of AI and Human Nature by Henry Kissinger, Eric Schmidt, and Daniel Hutton Loker. Let's see. Looking through. I can't wait till it gets legal in North Carolina. I'm smoking my bong right now because I promise I'm going to go and bake some cannabis lasagna, and I'm going to eat it while I'm on the air. So y'all see me get eating a baked cannabis lasagna. It's funny. I walked through Washington, D.C. earlier this year, and it was really weird. People walking down the street, and you could smell the marijuana. I was like, well, it's legal. That's a good thing. Let's see. I hope to get an ounce for Christmas. from my uncle either this weekend or some weekend this month. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was in college, a friend of mine came to visit around Christmas time, and when leaving in the morning, spend the night, leaving in the morning, had no idea that me and my roommate had a Christmas present waiting for us. And she moved out in June to move to Virginia. My parents came over, and they decided to come over, buy some groceries and all that. Something you do for a young college kid. And as they were putting shit up, and I was helping my mom, we went to the pantry, where it's a little pantry / washer dryer closet in the apartment, and she saw a dime bag of weed. And I looked at her. I was like, I don't know where that bag of weed came from, and I really didn't. I mean, because if I would have known what had been there, it would have been smoked a long time ago. It would have been Gonzville. Me and my roommate would have gotten high off of that. So, yeah, we threw it in the trash can, and then when they left, I retrieved it, smoked it. It was bad weed at that point. We're talking about by 6.5 months or so. So I just thought I share that story. I guess weed goes stale. So anyway, all right, let's see what we got here. My Tuesday was all right. It was good. I went out to dinner, got back, and decided to start live streaming. So as I said, I should start live streaming again on a regular basis. So hopefully it'll be my Saturdays are going to return to live streaming. It may be a little earlier than usual. Was going to do 8 o'clock, but it might be earlier than that from now on. It might be 7 that I'll do this sort of thing. Let's see. Bosch can be disgusting at times with his takes. And I'm planning to do a video on Bosch. It may be my next video. If I do, it might even be tonight, or it'll be sometime on Thursdays. I got to decide when to do a video on Bosch. But he's got some really bad takes on some shit that bothers me at times. Yeah. Let's see. Kyle and Crystal. Most of them seem the PMC class liberals who loves the Democratic Party. I think that's more of a Crystal thing. I think Crystal corrupted Kyle. That's why I went from watching Kyle every single day to maybe watching Kyle about once or twice a week. I mean, if I see something that's interesting, I will listen to it, but he just ain't what he used to be, Let's see here. Got you, Willie. I didn't know. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to probably wrap it up and say once again that if you like what you heard, please press like and comment. Comment any ways you disagree with what I have to say. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Reject capitalism. Reject the duopoly. Reject, support a free Palestine, and support all liberation struggles and all things that makes our society better. And remember to also subscribe to this channel, The Willie Bragg Show, here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and any other platform I have. I'm going to attempt to add some more platforms soon. Until next time, I am Willie Bragg. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.